Imagine standing at the edge of a pristine turquoise lake, surrounded by towering snow-capped peaks. This is Lake Louise, one of the most iconic destinations in Canada's Banff National Park. But today, we're not just here to admire the view. We're about to embark on a journey that will take us through some of the most breathtaking scenery in the Canadian Rockies. The hike from Lake Louise to Lake Agnes is a classic trail that offers a perfect blend of natural beauty, physical challenge, and a touch of history. As we set off from the Lake Louise parking lot, the well-marked trail beckons us into the wilderness. The path starts relatively flat, winding through a dense forest of spruce and fir trees. The air is crisp and clean, filled with the scent of pine needles and wildflowers. As we climb higher, the forest begins to thin, offering glimpses of the turquoise waters of Lake Louise below. It's a sight that never fails to take your breath away, no matter how many times you've seen it. The contrast between the deep blue sky, the emerald forest, and the jewel-like lake is simply stunning. The trail gradually becomes steeper, and we find ourselves zigzagging up the mountainside. Each switchback brings new views and a sense of accomplishment. We're gaining elevation quickly now, and the landscape is changing around us. The trees are becoming smaller and more sparse, giving way to alpine meadows dotted with colorful wildflowers. About halfway up the trail, we reach a viewpoint that offers a panoramic vista of the entire Lake Louise area. It's the perfect spot to catch our breath and take in the scenery. The Chateau Lake Louise, once a Grand Railway hotel and now a luxury resort, looks like a tiny dollhouse from this height. The surrounding peaks of Mount Fairview, Mount White, and Mount Niblock frame the scene like a natural amphitheater. As we continue our ascent, the trail becomes rockier, and we need to watch our footing. But the effort is worth it. With each step, we're getting closer to our destination. The air is noticeably cooler up here, and we're glad we brought layers. Mountain weather can be unpredictable, and it's not uncommon to experience all four seasons in a single day. After about 2 hours of hiking, we round a bend and catch our first glimpse of Lake Agnes. It's a moment that never fails to impress. The small alpine lake is nestled in a rocky bowl, surrounded by steep cliffs and scree slopes. The water is so clear you can see straight to the bottom in the shallows. But the real gem of Lake Agnes is the historic tea house perched on its shore. Built in 1901 by the Canadian Pacific Railway, this rustic log cabin has been serving hikers for over a century. It's a welcome sight after the challenging climb, offering hot tea, fresh baked goods, and a chance to rest and refuel. As we approach the tea house, the smell of freshly baked scones and brewing tea wafts through the air. The building itself is a piece of living history, with its weathered wooden walls and red tin roof. Inside, it's cozy and warm, a stark contrast to the rugged wilderness outside. We find a spot on the deck overlooking the lake and order a pot of tea and some homemade soup. The tea house operates without electricity, relying on propane stoves and staff who hike supplies up the mountains several times a week. It's a reminder of simpler times and the enduring appeal of this beautiful place. As we sip our tea, we take in the surroundings. The lake is often perfectly still, reflecting the surrounding peaks like a mirror. On a calm day, you can see the entire scene doubled in the water's surface. It's a photographer's dream, and we can't resist snapping a few pictures to remember the moment. But Lake Agnes isn't just about the views. It's also a gateway to further adventures. For those with more time and energy, trails lead from here to the Big Beehive and the Devil's Thumb, offering even more spectacular vistas. These extensions add considerable challenge to the hike, but reward intrepid explorers with unparalleled views of the entire Lake Louise area. As we prepare for our descent, we take one last look around. The beauty of this place is overwhelming. From the crystal clear waters of Lake Agnes to the rugged peaks that surround it, every view is postcard perfect. It's a landscape that has inspired artists, adventurers, and nature lovers for generations. The hike back down to Lake Louise is easier on the lungs but requires careful footing on the steep, sometimes slippery trail. As we descend, we're treated to a constantly changing perspective on the landscape. The late afternoon light paints the mountains in warm hues, creating a whole new set of photo opportunities. By the time we reach the shores of Lake Louise again, our legs are tired, but our spirits are soaring. We've climbed over 400 meters in elevation, covered nearly 9 kilometers of trail, and experienced some of the most beautiful scenery on Earth. The hike from Lake Louise to Lake Agnes is more than just a walk in the woods. It's a journey through the heart of the Canadian Rockies, a chance to connect with nature in its purest form. As we look back up at the mountains we've just climbed, we're filled with a sense of accomplishment and wonder. This trail, like so many in Banff National Park, reminds us of the raw beauty of the natural world and our place within it. It's a testament to the foresight of those who established this park over a century ago, preserving these landscapes for future generations to explore and enjoy. Whether you're an experienced hiker or a casual nature lover, the trail to Lake Agnes offers something for everyone. It's challenging enough to feel like an achievement, but accessible enough for most people to enjoy. And the rewards, from the stunning views to the unique experience of the mountaintop tea house, make every step worthwhile. As we leave Lake Louise behind, we carry with us memories of azure lakes, towering peaks, and the simple pleasure of a cup of tea enjoyed in one of the most beautiful settings imaginable. The hike to Lake Agnes is more than just a day trip. It's an experience that will stay with us long after we've left the mountains behind. A reminder of the incredible natural beauty that exists in our world and the importance of preserving it for future generations to enjoy.